A warm welcome to all of you for this ethics session. The purpose of the session is to give you an edge in the main examination. In main examination, unlike in prelims examination, there is no proper source. For example, if you study prelims, you have the subjects like polity, you have history, you have geography, you have, and there are present certain standard materials, text materials available for polity, text material available for history, for geography. For example, if I study NCERT book, I am happy. If I study Lakshmikant for polity, I think that I can crack the examination. Whether we will crack the examination after studying the prescribed textbook is another story. But you have a self confidence when you complete a particular book for a particular subject in the prelims. But the main examination is a very challenging task because there is no standard book. You buy the book, you read the book, you can write the answer for the examination. This is not going to happen for your main examination because main examination is more of reflective in nature rather than you will be asked a question and they are giving you an answer. You will select the answer in the prelims, but main examination is about your reflection. See, reflection is a product of your preparation, but reflection is also a product of your situation as well. For example, in the examination hall, when question is asked, how you are able to think about that question in that particular time point and create your own answer is a very, very challenging task. Unlike in the GS paper 1, paper 2, paper 3, you have something you have studied from the prelims, you can use it in the 1, 2, 3 of general studies. But this ethics paper is a new subject which has been introduced 10 years back. Ethics was a paper which you will be reading after you clear the examination. When you go to Labasna, there is a paper called ethics paper. So once you clear the examination, you have to study ethics before 10 years. But last 10 years, what they did was that only when you study ethics, you clear the examination, you can go to Labasna. So studying ethics have become a precondition for you to clear the examination to go to Labasna. Initially, when they introduced this ethics paper in 2013, people were not having a clue, including teachers like me, we are not having a clue because how to make students understand ethics, which is more philosophical in nature. Because ethics is a branch of philosophy. If you see academically, ethics is a branch of philosophy called as moral philosophy. It's a branch of philosophy called as moral philosophy. The challenge is how to teach moral philosophy to the students who have so far studied something which is very textual. Philosophy, philo means what? Philo means, philosophy means what? What do you mean by philosophy? Philos plus Sophia becomes philosophy. Philos plus Sophia becomes philosophy. What is philos? Love. Love for knowledge is what is philosophy. Love for knowledge. Philosophy means love for knowledge. You have seen that philosophers try to get knowledge. Earlier, they wanted to know about how Earth is functioning, how this cosmos and all evolved. So, mostly the ancient philosophers would be talking about the origin of earth, what this universe is made out of. Some would say that the earth is made out of fire. Some will say that the earth is made out of water. Some will say that there is something which is indefinite. So it is infinity, which is what is the universe. Like that, ancient philosophers were discussing about the components of earth, or the formation of the earth, or the formation of galaxies and all. But the modern philosophers, especially from Socrates onwards, you can say that Socrates is the father of the modern philosophy. From Socrates, like in history, you have ancient, medieval, modern. In philosophy, also, you have ancient, medieval, modern philosophy. So, modern philosophy starts with Socrates. And therefore, modern philosophy will be speaking about mostly your life. It mostly focuses on the life of the individual, the life of the community. And therefore, if you look at from UPSC point of view, will they ask you ancient philosophy? Definitely not, because we are least bothered about how earth is made out of, how this world is coming into existence. All these stuffs, there is another territory. Ancient philosophy is not the priority of UPSC. Medieval philosophy is about challenging religion through the questioning. This is also not important, but what is important from the UPSC point of view is modern philosophy, not medieval philosophy, not ancient philosophy. So you should be able to know about modern philosophers, starting from Socrates. If you wanted to score more in ethics paper, you do only one thing. You have a list of philosophers, modern philosophers, and try to have their theories, not like a grand theories, just what they are talking about. So three things which you have to do. One is, you should know ethical terms. You should have a list of to be remembered words, TBR words. I use this phrase, TBR words. You should have a list of terms, ethical terms, right? Maybe, how many questions they are asking? How many questions they are asking? 13 questions they are asking. Each question carries 10 marks in section A, and 6 questions they are asking in the case study in section B. Each question will carry 20 marks. So 130 10 marker question, 13 questions, and 6 20 marker question, 120 questions or 120 marks. Totally put together, it will be 250. So 13 questions you have, right? In the section A, you have 13 questions. Now, in each question, you try to use minimum 5 ethical terms with its application. Simply dropping the term without applying the term is not going to fetch you anything. Minimum 5 ethical terms with its application, right? Then you should write minimum 2 thinkers, 2 philosophers, and you should write some 2 or 3 quotes. Fair enough for a 10 marker question. I have seen, students don't prepare for ethics. For them, preparation means polity. Preparation means history. Preparation means science and technology. They don't prepare ethics. Why, If I give you the ethics question paper of 2023, if I give you ethics question paper of 2023, I'll give you the GS question paper, GS1 question paper of 2023 to you right now. I will give you ethics question paper also. You start writing the answer. You have not prepared anything. You start writing the answer. You will not write answers in GS1 because it requires a clear-cut preparation, without which you cannot even put your pen on the paper. But ethics you will. Why? Why ethics you will write? Because it is story. You know, we already have studied ethics in schools where there is one moral studies class, storytelling class, according to me. They will tell stories. In my school and all, they'll tell story. Lord Krishna, you know what he did? People will sleep. And that session will be in the afternoon after lunch. அப்படியே தாலாட்டு பாடுற மாதிரி இருக்கும் மாரல் ஸ்டடீஸ். ஏன்னா ஸ்டோரி. Ethics is also like story. You just see 6 case studies they have given. 6 case studies they have given. You read the case studies, you'll understand. You read GS1 question paper, 2 question paper, 3 question paper, question itself you'll not understand. But here you'll understand the question because it is a story. So and so working in so and so department is a very sincere officer and he is being pressurized by an officer above him. So what he will do? Don't you understand this story? Did you prepare anything to understand this story? So students go, I have seen many students go without any concrete preparation. They go and write the ethics paper when they go for the first attempt. First attempt means they are writing means they will not prepare ethics. They will go because anyhow I'll manage. After coming out of the ethics paper, they will tell that, sir, I have written the paper very nicely in comparison to other papers. Because they are writing stories only. No, you will write filling the page is not going to give you the marks. They will fill the page somehow. In the second attempt only they will come to know that my ethics mark is so bad, so the the edge which I can make with respect to other competitive students or candidates will be ethics paper. That realization comes in the second mains, and somehow they do. In the third mains they'll have a proper understanding of how to write ethics, and in the third mains or fourth mains only they will be able to get a score which is 100 or 110. So don't waste time in just going to the examination without preparation. If you look at the question paper, it is like anyone can write, but it is not like anyone can write. Anyone can write, but anyone will not clear the examination. It requires a flavor. See, quality answer you are writing in the mains means constitutional articles you should write, Supreme Court judgment you should write, some terminologies connected to this political system you should write. Then only it gives you a flavor of polity. History is having its own flavor. Economics is having its own flavor. So as ethics is also having its own flavor. So that flavor means what? That flavor means ethical terms, applying the ethical terms, philosophers' names, and some quotes, nice quotes. Just because I have read the quote, don't write the quote. It has to be very appropriately gelling with that of the question asked. So, dumping the quote without connection is very disastrous. Not writing all these things will also be disastrous. So, where to put what is your preparation? Where to put what? In this question, can I put this thing? In that question, can I put this thing? Because some students have corrected the model papers. I've seen that they are having some 10 terms, writing all the 10 terms in all the 13 answers. So don't write a term which you have written in one question in the another question. You have some other term, simple term. In one you write probity, in another you write honesty, in the third you write truthfulness, in the fourth you write trustworthiness, in the fifth you write integrity, in the sixth you write knowledge, in the seventh you write competency, in eighth you write integrity, in the ninth you write aptitude. Like that you have to change the terms. So if you have a list of words to be remembered, a list of words, for example, I will advise you to have a list of, say, minimum 100 terms. Minimum 100 terms you should have, ethical terms. Honesty is a term which everybody will use. So without honesty, right? Like commonly used terms, you should not count in the 100. Whatever you know now will not be included in the 100. You don't know now certain terms, those terms will have to be 100. Not already known term, new 100 ethical terms you have to have a list of. Now what you should do, you should be able to, compartmentalize, you should be able to cluster the syllabus. You should be able to do clustering of the syllabus, which means that in the first portion of the syllabus, they have given ethics and human interface. Human interface. Here, what and all terms I will write if question comes from this portion. Emotional intelligence. What and all I will write if question comes from emotional intelligence. Ethics in civil services ethics. What and all I will write when question comes from this portion. Like that, you should be able to have a cluster of terms for a particular subtopic or the topic given in the syllabus. Right? So this will be a ready reckoner for you that in the day before examination, on the day just before examination, you are not reading anything, just you are reading the 100 new terms you have read. Some 100 new quotes you have read. Some 50 new philosophers you have read. Now take this thing, put there, take that thing, put here. All these applications of what you have read, you would have already done in the form of mains test series. So this is the preparation which I wanted all of you to have in order to get 120 or 130 in ethics. A simple calculation if you do, you know how much important is to cross 100 in every GS paper. So 100 in every GS paper is mandatory for you, because in paper 3 and all, many people have got 60 to 70. In paper 1, the average mark is 90. In paper 2, the average mark earlier, before 3 years, what is the status of paper 3 today or the status of paper 2 3 years back? In paper 2, they will get 67. A student who has written political science optional will be getting 60 in paper 2. He can use the entire optional in paper 2. He should have scored more marks, but this is not happening. Now that GS paper 3 is a paper which is not scoring that much. It is not that paper which is not scoring. People come and ask me, sir, which subject will be scoring subject? Yesterday only one student came. Sir, I failed in mains. No problem. Sir, I think that what option I have written is not scoring. Which optional is scoring? You tell me. Optional will not be scoring. You should score in the optional. How optional will score? If that subject is scoring, everybody taking that subject should score, no. Remember that no subject will be a scoring subject. You should put some effort to score in the subject. What effort you have? So even now I am saying 60 marks or 70 marks in GS paper 3. I myself use this. GS is not scoring. Paper 3 is not. I am wrong. It is not scoring means you should do some extra effort to push 70 to 100. You should be a little bit careful. You should be a little bit innovative. What well I can incorporate so that I will be having some 30 marks extra than the average marks which is got by the students. So little bit extra effort will definitely help you to get what you wanted. Each paper you target 100, so 400 should come from your GS. If you get 400 in GS, you get some 300 in your optional. Target this 300, you'll get a 280, 290. 280, 290 also IAS will come. 300 in your optional. Target I'm saying in the optional. In the essay, if you target earlier and all essay, everyone will get 120, 130. Our student got 153 some 3 years back. But today essay, they are telling, sir, essay is not scoring. I tell again. Do something extra to make it scoring. What you can't blame the system. No, ultimately, if I blame UPSC is asking a very tough question. So that is why I didn't clear the examination. Who will accept? I'm asking who will accept? Will anyone accept? கஷ்டமா இருந்துச்சு பேப்பர். கஷ்டமா தான் இருக்கும். 200 IAS இருக்கு. 200 IAS you have. How many people are wanting to become IAS? 10 lakh people are wanting to become IAS. 200 IAS maximum. அப்போ எக்ஸாம் ஈஸியா இருக்குமான்னா, with the passage of every year examination will be difficult. 2024 is so difficult than 2023. பேப்பர் ஈஸியா அப்படிங்கிற கேள்வியே கேட்கக்கூடாது. கஷ்டமா தான் இருக்கும். It will be difficult only. Essay you should target some 130. So 800 plus if you get in your mains, 170 to 180 in the interview. 1,000 marks you should get. 1,000 target, you have to have 1,000 target. 1,000 plus you should get. Then only there is your purpose will be served. இந்த எக்ஸாமுக்கு வந்தது, படிச்சது, தூக்கம் இல்லாம படிச்சது எல்லாம் எப்போ it will be serving its purpose only when you get what you want. So I keep telling this, have a target. So ethics la 100 I have to score. In ethics I should score 100. How and all that will come. I have told that a list of TBR philosophers will have to be there, and the quotes will have to be there. There are some people who are like Maggie noodles. 2 minutes you can prepare, no, like that. Who, Mahatma Gandhi. ஒண்ணுமே தெரியல. Nothing comes to me. Mahatma Gandhi says. What he says? He says everything, no. What he has left, he has told everything. So according to Mahatma Gandhi, so you have the terms 7 sins told by Gandhi. You memorize all the 7 sins. Sometimes each sin will be a question. They'll put one sin out of the 7 sins and ask you to write for 10 words, 10 marks. 7 sins of Gandhi. Buddha, what Buddha has said, what Socrates has said, what Aristotle has said. So many things you can do to get this 100 in ethics. Not doing all these things, we will not get 100. Simple as that. If you do, you get. If you don't do, we will not get. Be rational. Don't be emotional with this examination. A student yesterday was telling me, sir, UPSC is in my heart. You are not Lord Hanuman to open your heart and show that, see, Lord Rama is there. Emotions will not work in examination. Mind will work. Rationality will work. நான் எவ்வளவு இந்த எக்ஸாம லவ் பண்ணேன் தெரியுமா? ஒன் ஸ்டூடெண்ட், லவ்லாம் பண்ணாதீங்கப்பா. எக்ஸாம், யூஸ் யுவர் மைண்ட். மேக் ரேஷனல் கால்குலேஷன். 100 should come. Resource mobilization. How and all that 100, what and all I should mobilize to get that 100. Optimal use of resource is what is the civil servant. What civil services means? Civil services means people's service. Okay. But how will you do people's service? Will you have everything at your disposal to serve the people? No, 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 no. You'll have the minimum resources and you have to serve the maximum population. Minimum resources, maximum population. Now there is a need to optimal use of resources. Best use of resources. So don't go after materials. If I go after material, I will not be able to become district collector. I will be becoming only material collector. Have one limited material fixed. You fix one set of materials for a subject. Try to read the current affairs. Whatever you have studied, you try to put it on the writing. எழுதுங்க. Surest form of reading is writing. Simply reading, it will evaporate, I tell you. Keep writing. What you have read, try to write in the form of test and get it checked by the teacher and get the feedback. So ethics is a very important area which is not explored. 10 years, they have not explored. Students have not explored this ethics paper properly. Slowly, awareness is coming, and that awareness is coming only after writing 3 times about this paper, right? If you see the question paper is the best material to start with. Syllabus and question paper. Syllabus is only a tentative syllabus it is. From this syllabus, this topic is only asked. This syllabus means this thing for UPSC. How will you know? By reading the question paper. Ethics and human interface. What are the determinants of ethics? Is the syllabus. Is there any question asked by UPSC? Mention the determinants of ethics. No. There is a topic called as socialization. Explain what is socialization. Is the question asked in this way? No. So syllabus means what to UPSC? That you come to know only when you read the previous year question paper. 10 years of previous year question paper you have with you. Read all the 10 years of question papers again and again. Read the syllabus. For example, in the first portion, ethics and human interface. If you are going through the question paper, you will get 3 dimensions which are connected to life. That's all. Life of us. What UPSC is asking is not theoretical ethics. They are asking only practical ethics. And most of the ethics will be civil services ethics. Because you are going to become civil servant, they are testing how ethical you are with respect to civil services. So questions from this area will be like, what is life? They ask about life. There are 3 dimensions of life which UPSC is focusing on in the question. The first dimension of life is happiness. The second dimension is well-being. The third dimension is harmony. Nowhere in the syllabus they have given this. Study happiness, study well-being, study harmony. They are asking in ethics and human interface, life of a human being. How will I measure my life? How will I measure my life? The best measurement of life is happiness. Happiness is the ultimate aim of every human being. Every human being or every living things, their ultimate aim of their existence, of their action is happiness. So simply UPSC put a question. What do you mean by happiness? For a student who has not prepared, will he be able to write something on happiness? You can write, but what will you write? What do you mean by happiness? Question paper, previous year question. What do you mean by happiness? What is the answer which you can give? Write pages, 150 words you write. How will you write? What is happiness? When I clear civil services examination, the state of mind I have is called as happiness. Right? When I see my enemy failing in the examination, the state of mind I have is happiness. When I see my parents' happiness, when I don't see somebody, it is happiness. Story, storytelling. 2 lines, 3 lines, you cannot write. I'm telling you. That is what is the fact. So, what do you mean by happiness? If a question is asked like this, you should take the guidance from many philosophers. See, everybody wanted to lead a good life or bad life. Which life you wanted to lead? Good life. So everybody wanted to lead a good life. Now you should know what is good. Then only you will lead a good life. What is good? Hmm? What is good? You will be able to know that something is good only when you have developed a standard, some standards. What is good? What is right is good. What is good? What is not wrong is good. What is good? What is not bad is good. See the abstractness which comes if I write like this. What is good? There has to be a measurement. What is your height? For that you have a measurement. What is your weight? You have a measurement. You go to the jewelry shop, buy gold, there is some measurement. What amount of gold is there in the jewel? There is one measurement. So everything will have to have a measurement. Without measurement, there is no management. So measurement you have to have. You have to have a scale to measure what is happiness. What is that scale? So the standards will have to be developed. Standards of right and wrong will have to be developed. What is right, what is wrong, there has to be a codification of what is right, what is wrong. The first source of ethics, they say that 10 commandments, there are 10 commands which you have to follow. If you follow all the 10 commands, you are good. So 10 commandments became the first source of ethics. 10 points they are telling that if you have this 10 points followed, you are a good person. The standards should come from somewhere or not. So an individual will come give the standard. For example, Buddha will come, he will give you a standard. Guru Nanak will come, he will give you a standard. Kabir will come, he will give you a standard. Adi Shankara will come, he will give you a standard. Advaita philosophy. Like that, individuals will come and give standards. So the real individuals will come give standards, or else some divine interventions will come and give you standards. Otherwise, when you are born as a child. That's all. You are not born as a good person. You are not born as a bad person. So good and bad is not coming by birth. Good and bad is learned. It is acquired. It is not innate. It is learned. So this makes the job of a teacher like me easy. When the question came to many of us teachers in 2013 when the ethics paper was introduced, how to teach this ethics to students? Because ethics is a quality, it is not quantity. 11 fundamental duties are there. I can make you read, I can make you write 10 times, you will memorize, and they'll ask you, you'll write. Exactly write the preamble as given in the constitution. We, the people of India, having solemnly, like that, I can make you write. But how to make you write an answer which is quality? Socrates, 1,000 years back, has answered the question. Ethics can be taught. He taught ethics to the students, which was seen as anti-national activity by the government, and the government gave him death penalty. So the good and bad is taught by individuals. It has been taught from divine sources also. You use ethics. You extract ethics. For example, Bible is a source of ethics. Quran is a source of ethics. Bhagavad Gita is a source of ethics. What Bhagavad Gita says, what Bible says, what Quran says, they say only one thing: be good, don't be bad. If you are bad, you'll be caught, you'll be punished. So if you look at the 10 commandments, told you what is good, what is bad, and religion became a source of ethics. So philosophers like Saint Augustine, there is one philosopher. If you go and see the Google, type Saint Augustine, you'll find the image of a person who will always carry a Bible like this. So he says, Bible is the source of ethics. Augustine went to the extent of telling that there is a hierarchy of lies. If you tell a lie, you will go to hell. Which lie? Not a simple lie. He says, if you tell lie in the name of religion, that is the worst lie you can do. Which lie is a good lie? White lie they call. White lie. A lie which is not harming anyone and it is doing some good things to others. For example, if a student is coming to me, but I have gauged the student, he has to do lot many works to clear the examination. For example, he should study minimum 3 years from today to clear the examination. He comes to me, sir, next month the prelims, can I clear? I will tell, definitely will clear. I am telling all of you will clear in this class. 2024 prelims, Everyone sitting in the class, online, offline, everyone will clear this prelims 2024. This is lie or truth? What is it? பொய்யா உண்மையா? So many students are there online watching this class. What is it? பொய்யா உண்மையா? ம்? பொய் தானே? But the moment I said, all of you will clear this prelims 2024, மகிழ்ச்சி உள்ளுக்குள்ள அப்படியே அப்படியே பாட்டம் ஆஃப் யுவர் ஸ்டொமக்ல இருந்து அப்படியே ஒரு 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 நல்ல ஃபீலிங் ஒன்று வருதா? 2024 ரிசல்ட் ஹஸ் கம், யூ சா யுவர் நம்பர் இஸ் தேர். ஒரு டெஸ்ட் கூட எழுதல இது வரைக்கும். தட் இஸ் another story. So he says a lie which is not harming anyone, instead it is giving good things to somebody, is called an acceptable lie. பொய்மையும் வாய்மை இடத்த புரைதீர்ந்த நன்மை பயக்கும் எனின், திருவள்ளுவர் says. Some students from Tamil Nadu, they keep on writing Tirunelveli. Tirunelveli says, Tirunelveli says. Don't reveal the fact that you are living in Tirunelveli colony. They know from where you are coming. So don't reveal your identity. Regional identity shall not be revealed. Religious identity shall not be revealed. Linguistic identity shall not be revealed. Caste identity cannot be revealed. Institutional identity cannot be revealed. Don't reveal your identity in the examination. So religion becomes the source of ethics. It tells what is good, what is bad. Ramayana says what is good, what is bad. Mahabharata says what is good, what is bad. Bible says, Quran says. So religion becomes the source of ethics. Then only you will know what is good, what is bad, because you are not born good, born bad. You are simply a body having 2.5 kilogram weight on the day of the birth. That's all. You are a bundle of muscle. அவ்வளவுதான். Now, if religion tells you what is good, what is bad, I may follow Christianity, I may follow Islam, I may follow Hinduism. So there may be differences in my interpretation of my religious source. I will interpret the Bible in some other way than you. There are some people who keep interpreting the Bible. They may interpret wrongly than the intended meaning. They will give their own selfish meaning to the Bible, to Quran, to Bhagavad Gita. How to resolve this problem? Problem can be resolved. How? Let us have a source of ethics for all of us living in India, and that source of ethics is Constitution. Constitution should be the source of ethics, and there will be interpretation done by Constitution. Interpretation will be done not by anyone, only by the highest judiciary, which is created by the Constitution itself. There was a question asked. The question is constitutional morality. Some of you may have a confusion, sir. What is ethics? What is morality? Sometimes ethics is called morality, sometimes morality is called ethics. There is a difference. The standards of rights and wrongs is called as morality. The subject which studies this is called as ethics. So ethics is the subject, morality is the subject matter. That is why GS4 is not titled morality. It is titled ethics because ethics is a study. It is a subject. Morality is only a subject matter. Morality means what? What is right, what is wrong. Standards of rights and wrong is called as morality. So I told that nobody is born good, born poor, so born good, born bad. So there should be some people, some source to teach me what is good, what is bad. And that source is, I told, it is religion earlier, and today it is constitution. If you say constitutional morality, what and all is written in the constitution, that is what is right. What is not written in the constitution is wrong. So follow what is written in the constitution. Constitutional morality means what is good and bad is not decided by the majority. What is good and bad should not be decided by the minority. What is good and bad should not be decided by the individual. What is good and bad should not be decided by a group. What is good and bad should not be decided by the government. What is good and bad should be decided by the constitution. You follow the same constitution, I follow the same constitution. When we follow the same constitution, we follow the same morals. Naturally, what will happen? Our life will become happy or not? Why? Why life will become happy? Life will become good. Now, how good will become happy? How good will become happy? Good becomes happy. Here where comes the concept of conscience, Manasachi. So we have an inner voice. It is called thousand witness. That inner voice keeps on telling, do good, do good, do good. And if you do what your inner voice says, you will have some sort of equilibrium. That what my mind voice says, what my inner voice says, I do. So what I think I do, what I think I do is called as integrity. What is integrity? Integrity is opposite to hypocrisy. What is hypocrisy? Thinking something, speaking some other thing. Thinking something, doing some other thing. Hypocrisy. Thinking that I should study for 12 hours a day, studying only 1 hour per day. Hypocrisy. Thinking 12 hours I should study, doing that 12 hours study. Integrity. The mind and the body is set up in such a way that if there is some sort of equilibrium, if there is some sort of rhythm present, it will make you stable, it will make you calm, composed. So there is some consistency which is needed. Consistency is needed. For example, if you look at heart, that is how our system has been designed. Heart, consistency when it is beating 70 times a minute. Consistency when your lungs are breathing these many times, these many minutes. Consistency when the electroconvulsive waves are passing through your nerve fibers in this way. So, consistency is what is the goal of everyone. We want to be consistent. The moment when parents are asking you, did you study properly? You tell I studied properly, but you didn't study properly. You get a guilt feeling, no. Because what you say and what you do is not consistent. Whenever there is inconsistency, there will be some voice which will keep on scolding you. You look around, nobody is scolding, but that voice is not coming from outside, that voice is coming from within. That voice is called as conscience. The question was asked in 2023. Conscience. So, when you are good, your conscience tells that I'm karma yogi. When you have this feeling that I have done, goal achieved, task completed, mission accomplished, you get an equilibrium. No, that is what is happiness. A sense of happiness comes when you do something which is consistent. You do something inconsistent, you resign the job. So that is why IAS, IPS will resign. They will resign because they thought something, but they are doing some other thing. That inconsistency was tricking them, unable to sleep, unable to eat properly, unable to laugh, and they resign. But the problem is when this conscience is not speaking for many, that many becomes the evils of the society. For example, a molester, one who is involving in sexual violence, that conscience is not there. Studies were conducted on those hardcore criminals who are in jail, especially rapists. They were studied. இவன் மைண்ட் செட் எப்படி இருக்குன்னு படிக்கிறாங்க. How is his mindset? Murderer, rapist, one who has looted the public money. Their psyche was studied. And these people are lacking one thing, that is empathy. Empathy is a human quality. If you are empathizing with others, there is some consistency within you. You feel some inner satisfaction. That is what is consistency. Inner satisfaction. So empathy is missing in them. And therefore, today you speak about empathetic civil services, not simply rational civil services. You speak today about emotional civil services. You speak today about emotional intelligence rather than intelligence quotient. 2023 question. So, empathy, integrity, trustworthiness. See, all are friends of each other. They are relatives of each other. If they come together. If they go together. If you are truthful, you will develop empathy, you will develop honesty, you will develop the service orientation. So, one thing you develop, many things you develop. One thing you lose, many things you lose. That is why they come as a cluster, they come as a group. Ethics comes as a group, goes as a group. The moment you spoke lie, you lose your empathy, you lose your trustworthiness, you lack integrity, you lack the patriotism. Everything will go. The moment you take bribe, you become corrupt. One thing you do, you take bribe, you will lose the credibility, you will lose your conscience, you will lose your empathy, you will lose your public service orientation. Everything will go away from you. That is why in the UPSC, they are telling you that study ethics, become ethical. Now come to Labasana. Why you know? In Labasna, you are taught ethics for 2 months or 3 months. That is not sufficient. That is why in the corruption perception index, look at India's ranking. It's not sufficient. After clearing examination, we will make you ethical before 10 years. To clear the examination, become ethical from last 10 years. Why they introduced ethics paper? Because of this. Intellectual dishonesty amongst officials. Intellectual dishonesty. See, I know that a scheme will come. I am the person who is making the scheme. That scheme is special economic zone in a periphery of Chennai, which is barren land. That SEZ is going to come. I am the officer making plan for that. What I will do, I will buy land 100 acres surrounding that area because I only know that that area's market value is going to double, triple, multiply many manifold times. So silently I buy a land there. Now it is barren land. Per acre I will buy for, say 10,000 rupees, I will buy 100 acres. Later, when special economic zone comes, when it becomes an industrial corridor, I will be a billionaire. These instances have happened. These instances have happened. So today there is an erosion of ethics. Why you speak about ethics today? You speak about ethics today because there is so much of unethical things happening, which is why you speak about ethics. If everybody is good, then you need not discuss this ethics at all. Why you speak about poverty? Because many people are poor. Why you speak about ethics? Because many people are unethical. That is why you say that a person who is a corrupt is anti-national. A corrupt person having intellectual dishonesty will be an anti-national person. So corruption is not just to be seen in the light of economic loss to the country. Corruption is a representation of moral decay. The question was asked on probity 2023. Moral erosion. See, ethics is the foundation for the society. Morality is the foundation for society. When the foundation is shaking, society will fall. And now, why you should be more ethical? Why an officer should be more ethical? Why in BA, MA, they are not teaching ethics? Why they are telling you to read ethics for IAS examination, not for other examination? A small subordinate service examination, they are not telling you to read ethics. For the highest civil services, they are telling you to read ethics. Why? There is a saying, the fish will rot from the head. So head should be morally upright. You are going to become the head. You are not a subordinate. 1.5 years, 2 years from the day of you clear the examination, you get an independent charge called sub-collector. You are 50% of the collector. Sub-collector is half of the district under me. I am sub-collector. 2 years from today, you are sub-collector. You clear the exam today. 2 years from today, you are the head of the subdivision. Division's head you are. So entry level itself, you are the head. And if you are corrupt, what your subordinate will tell? Will he respect you? He comes late. You call him. I wanted to scold. He knows that he is calling you to scold you, or you are calling to scold him. He comes inside. You started scolding. He gives 500 rupees to you. You keep it. Go. நம்ம அதை தான் பார்க்குறோம். சரி, வந்த வரைக்கும் லாபம். Erosion happens from the top. That is why those who are aspiring for the topmost job in the country will have to be ethical. Gandhi, ethics is irrespective of the situation. Ethics is irrespective of the situation. I will be upright at all times. Non-cooperation movement. Chauri Chaura incident. See, whatever you are reading in GES, you can very well write in ethics. That is the beauty of ethics. What you write in polity, you can write in ethics. What you read in history, you can write in ethics. Even economics, you can write in ethics. Economics, you write about this inflation, all these economic concepts you think. But if you go and see inflation, who is getting lost? Who is getting more affected? Who are getting more affected? So when you are showing empathy towards the poor people, you have to fight inflation not for the progress of the country economically, but for the common man's life to be upheld, to be upscaled. Now, economic issues will be seen ethical issues by you. Ethics is like a spectacle. Wear that spectacle. Everywhere you'll find ethics. In every subject, you'll find ethics. For example, Sabarimala temple, judgment, ethics it is. Gender ethics. Gender ethics it is. MC Mehta case, environmental ethics. Any question coming to the Supreme Court with respect to homosexuality, individual privacy. Privacy it is. Who are you to tell? So everywhere you find now onwards, I am telling you, you read a news. This is the best method you can adopt. You read from today onwards, you read newspaper. You try to see, is there any ethical dimension? In some issues, there will be no obvious ethical dimension. Leave it. In some issues, you'll find in the subliminal level. Subliminal level means in the latent level, indirectly, there will be an ethics which will be overflowing, which is not visible to you. Take, for example, Trans Pacific Partnership. America left that TPP. America said, I will not follow Paris Climate Accord. America threatens, I will walk out of World Trade Organization. You are threatening. Why you are threatening? America withdrew from UNESCO, which was a question asked in some time back in the main examination. Why you are threatening? Why I am threatening? You should give developed country status to India and China, which is why I'll threaten you. I threaten you because without me, WTO, think about is it ethical or unethical? There is one question. International relation, there is one ethics. International funding ethics. Everywhere ethics is present. Everywhere. In the recent cyclone ethics, one person was telling, in our apartment, there is one official staying. He says, in our apartment, one official is staying. Both came, took these officials and his family. We were asking, pleading for the person. I will also come. I will also come. Old people are there. Even though space was there, he said, only for them, rescue boat has come. Now, this has come in the newspaper. When you read this, எப்படிலாம் they are misusing the power in the distress conditions. So, I told you that the standards of rights and wrong is called as morality. So, what constitutes right and wrong is told by many. The best source of ethics which you have to write is constitution. You write all the 9 words given in the preamble, ready made 9 terms I am giving to you, 9 words present in preamble. Each word is ethical in itself. Justice. Right? Coming back to happiness, when they are asking about happiness, which is the ultimate end of life, because is there anyone who aspire to become very sad? What is your aspiration in life? My aspiration is to become very sad. If you find a person like this, tell him to go to psychiatric treatment. Mentally sick people only will aspire to be sad. Every normal human being aspire to be happy. So what is happiness? Happiness. Many people have spoken about happiness. Buddha, he says, what is happiness? Happiness lies not in life. Happiness lies in living. Happiness lies in not life. Happiness lies in living. There is no life. There is only living. What is the meaning of this? Hmm? Living means, see, the process. Living is process. There is nothing called a success. There is only preparation for you. Everyone sitting for this examination, according to me, should be a karma yogi. Do your duty. Don't think about result. And the moment you think about life, you become anxious. You become insecure. But think about living. Preparation is not stressful, I tell you. You are wrong when you say this preparation itself is stressful. No, no. Preparation is not stressful. The consequence which you think is what is stressful. So you have to give importance to the process. Be happy in doing. Be happy in the process, Buddha says. There is one philosopher, his name is Epicurus. Epicurus. He says, when you become happy, when you have this sober thinking, you become happy. Sober thinking makes you happy. A word which you have not learned. Sober thinking. What do you mean by sober thinking? Sober thinking means intellect, I use my intellect, I use my mind, whether something will give me happiness or not. So, a simple living, a rational thinking, and not fearing death, not fearing God will give you happiness. Because what makes you unhappy, Epicurus says, what makes you unhappy, unnecessarily you fear God. Mental disturbance comes because of fear of God and fear of death. So don't fear God unnecessarily. Don't fear death unnecessarily. Use your mind. Will I have mind? Yes, only when you use, you come to know that you have mind. By using only mind develops. You are born with a brain. Remember, you are not born with a mind. You are born with a brain, but you are not born with a mind. Mind develops only when you use it. So Epicurus says that something which gives me happiness, I will strive towards that. For the individual happiness, he speaks about. So, which means that everybody, if we pursue individual happiness, if I think what will make me happy, I do that. You do what makes you happy. You do what makes you happy. Let us all do what makes us happy, and that is not going to conflict between. That is not going to create conflict between you and me. My happiness individually is not conflicting with your happiness. Epicurus told. Later, people came and told, "You are wrong, Mr. Epicurus. You are wrong. I becoming happy will spoil your happiness." புரிஞ்சுதா இல்லையா? UPSC examination I will clear only when everybody fails. I become happy by success of me. My success is based on failures of many. So I should think that many should fail. In a exam hall, 50 people are sitting and writing the exam. What should I think? I should think 49 people should fail. And only I will pass. So individual happiness is what is given by Epicurus, but he says simple thinking. Don't live lavish life and all. Be simple, because if you are simple, if you are practicing a simple life, you can take risk in life. If you are living a very sophisticated life, luxurious life, you will not take risk in life. So be simple. Simple living is what is going to give happiness. Epicurus says. Happiness means your power should increase and your resistance should come down. Nietzsche. Nietzsche says, Frederick Nietzsche says, your power should come down, improve. Your power should increase. Your resistance should come down. Simple. See, people, when you write this exam second time, your family members will not appreciate you like they motivated you for the first time. When the number of attempts increases, definitely they will try to put pressure on you, tell you that try for group 4 job, try for this job, that job. If there is group D, SSC group D you can go for. You can try for group 25 in TNPSC, like that and all, they will demotivate you. When there is a demotivation, they resist you. You are being resisted, or you are avoiding to do something, avoiding to write the exam again. So you should not be resisted by others. You should do what you wanted to do. Your self power will increase. That will give you happiness. Simple. Cricket World Cup final. 1.5 lakh people sitting in the stadium shouting for India to win. 10 people shouting for Australia to win. Australians won. They did not bother about this 1.5 lakh or 1,25,000 people sitting in the gallery and shouting in favor of India against Australia. So, how much happiness the Australians would have got when lack of people demotivated me, nobody motivated me. I was able to do what I wanted to do. So, my power is increasing. I am least bothered about others. So, if you are least bothered about others' opposition to your actions, and when you can freely pursue your action, that is what is happiness. So, if you write what Buddha says on happiness, what Nietzsche says on happiness, what Epicurus says on happiness, and you give some examples like cricket match, Australians demotivated by 1.5 lakh people who are shouting in favor of India, but they did not get demotivated. Their resistance reduced, their actions increased. How much happiness they would have got. So, despite of all resistance you face, if you pursue your ambition and finally clear this examination, simply you will be on the top of the world. If you buckle under the pressure of the family, buckle under the pressure of the society, you will not be happy. John Stuart Mills speaks about happiness. J.S. Mill. In NCERT 11th book, they have given about J.S. Mill. School children know. I am telling something which is there in NCERT 11th book. John Stuart Mill says there are two types of action: self regarding action, others regarding action. Self regarding action, others regarding action. Two types of actions are there. Self regarding action means it is just concerned about me, and that action will not bother others. Others regarding action means what I do will bother others. For example, I wanted to listen to music. I am living in an apartment. I am switching on my music system, making the volume so high, which will disturb others. I have every right to listen to music, but without disturbing others. If I am putting my headsets on, whatever music I wanted to listen, I can listen. It is not going to affect others. So it is self regarding. Somebody cannot ask me in the headset what you are listening. I am listening to the music of A.R. Rahman. No, 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 you should not listen. Listen to the music of Anirudh. Otherwise, I will penalize you. Nobody can tell. So when state can come in when your action is affecting others, and state shall not affect your actions if it is concerned about yours. State has no right to interfere in the self-regarding action. State has every right to interfere in the others regarding action. So which means that what is right of privacy? Self-regarding or others regarding? Self-regarding. Supreme Court in the Nalsa judgment says, when it is speaking about section 377 of IPC, it says decriminalization of homosexuality. It's a right to privacy, which comes under right to liberty, which comes under right to life. Don't disturb. See, the ethics is changing. Earlier and all, first time when they were trying to, philosophers were trying to do something called ethical teaching, they told that law should be made so that people will become ethical. Aristotle like people. Law should be made so that people will become ethical. Okay, that law should be how that law should be, that law should be a natural law. Whatever is in the order of the nature, that should be supported by the law. Whatever is natural will be followed by people. So any law which you are making should be in consonance with, in tallying with the natural law. And that is why most of the countries, even today, except 30 plus countries, remaining countries have today criminalized homosexual marriages. Only 30 plus countries have legalized homosexual marriages. And in the recent Supreme Court hearing, the Attorney General of India, the Solicitor General of India says, we will not want legalization. Supreme Court says, why don't you think of legalization of homosexual? No, 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 no. We have to change the Marriage Act. In the Marriage Act, two terms are there. One is husband, another is wife. If two men are marrying, then who is husband, who is wife? If two women are marrying, then who is husband, who is wife? Like that, they told. Husband wife term சரியா இதெல்லாம் டிஃபைன் பண்ண முடியல. ரெண்டு பேரும் ஒரே ஜெண்டரா இருக்காங்க. Two people are of the same gender. Who is husband, who is wife? For this reason, they said we will not legalize homosexuality. Why legalization of homosexuality is difficult? Why criminalization of homosexuality? By section 377 of IPC. Section 377 of IPC criminalizes homosexuality because for law and the state, heterosexuality is the law of nature. Homosexuality is against the order of nature. Anything against the order of nature is unnatural, hence it is immoral. What is natural is moral, what is unnatural is immoral. But that understanding of morality has been changed today, that what is unnatural is not immoral. When you read about all these stuffs, you have to think about, is any ethical dimension available in this topic of homosexuality? Is there any ethical dimension for COVID-19? COVID, COVID-19 and happiness. Pandemics and happiness. Cyclone and happiness. Chennai people in the last 1 week, they are not happy. So happiness when you speak about, I have told about Buddha, I have told about Epicurus, I have told about Nietzsche. In the current affairs, you have read World Happiness Report. What is the ranking of India? What is the ranking of Finland? What is the ranking of America? India's ranking 100 plus. Finland top ranking. If you give top ranking to a country which is economically developing, China should be given first rank or America should be given first rank. China's ranking is 80 plus. America's ranking is 15 to 20. So to become happy, a society need not be prosperous economically. Economic prosperity is one thing, happiness is another thing. 1970s, the king of Bhutan, he propounded a concept called as happiness index, gross national happiness. Gross national product, gross domestic product should be replaced by gross national happiness. So a country need not be economically prosperous for the country to be happy. If economic prosperity is directly connected to happiness, then America should be the most happiest country, but that is not the case. So it is not about philosophers, it is about current affairs as well. OECD is publishing every year, I think, a report on happiness. How many of you read that happiness report of OECD, Organization of Economic Cooperation and Development? OECD's happiness report. They simply ask you, how is life? வாழ்க்கை எப்படி போயிட்டு இருக்குது? How is life? If I ask you, how is your preparation? What will be your answer? Very few people will say, fantastic. Many will say, okay, okay, okay type. அப்போ, how is life? Okay, okay. Read OECD report on happiness. Read UN report on happiness. So just I have taken one single thing, happiness. Well-being. Well-being means what? See, well-being is not absence of sickness. Well-being is presence of opportunities for self-development. That is well-being. Health should not be measured based on sickness. If you are not sick, you are healthy, is wrong. What World Health Organization says, positive mental health, it says. Well-being, it says. Well-being means it is about not that sickness. Absence of sickness is not well-being. Presence of opportunities for self-development is well-being. And if there is a feeling, subjective feeling, everything is going well, all is good, all is well, that feeling, subjective feeling comes. For everyone living in this Indian society, if subjectively they feel that all is well, all is well, all is well, why there will be conflict in India? Why there will be violence in India? Why there will be caste conflict or communal conflict? Naturally, when you are happy, when you are having the concept of well-being applied, there will be harmony in the society. If there is no harmony in the society, then the society is lacking some basic morals. There is some basic morals missing in the society, which is why the society is having so many problems. So, I have been mandated to give you 1 hour lecture, but I have little bit exceeded my time limit. I have given to some extent a dimension of this paper called ethics. Now, Suresh Kumar sir will come. He will give you a detailed analysis of this ethics paper through these questions and all, right? So, Any basic question you wanted to raise, you can ask me before I leave the class. Anything basic. 15 classes we have planned for this ethics. 15 classes. Never ever miss even a single class. Those people who can come offline, kindly come offline. And what do they take away from this 1.5 hours of lecture? Take away, I will use ethical terms. I will have a list of ethical terms. I will have a list of ethical philosophers. I will have a list of quotes, topic wise. Okay. Number two, I will read current affairs from the ethical perspective hereafter. Wherever current affairs comes, I'll just see is there any ethical aspect present for this topic. Third thing is, when I read history, I will see ethics in that. When I read polity, I'll see ethics in that. When I read economics, I'll see ethics in that. So all the GS 3 papers, they are giving my points for ethics paper, interconnecting all the three papers to write the fourth paper, ethics paper, which is they have kept the fourth paper, not first paper. Because when you write ethics, no, that time you would have written all the GS papers. Three GS papers you have written. So that GS 1, 2, 3 will be there in your mind because you have written the answer for this question. Now with that points, you should be able to write an ethics answer, right? So see you. Just wait for 1 or 2 minutes so that Suresh Kumar sir will resume the class. Thank you.
ஆரம்பிக்கலாங்களா? So, I warmly welcome you all to this ethics module. So happy to see you once again, each and everyone. I would like to start this module with a reminder from தன் குற்றம் நீக்கி பிறர் குற்றம் காண்கின் என் குற்றம் ஆகும் இறைக்கு குரல் 436. தன் குற்றம் நீக்கி பிறர் குற்றம் காண்கின் பின் என் குற்றம் ஆகும் இறைக்கு. ஸோ நக்கீரர் சொல்வார் இல்லையா, சொற்குற்றம் பொருட்குற்றம் தயவு செய்து மன்னிக்கவும். This module has been prepared with a lot of effort and focus. Despite that, if there any ஏதாவது குற்றம் இருந்தா, I would like to convey my apologies first itself, but it was pure intention. Okay. Ethics subject is something very easy, at the same time very difficult. This has been a kind of a mystery in the UPSC preparation. One of the mysterious areas. In fact, even two honest persons can disagree on the same ethical issue. How to deal with a violent public protest? If you ask the two honest public, they will give two different solutions based on their interpretation. அவங்களுடைய புரிதலுக்கு ஏற்ற மாதிரி ரெண்டு விதமான சொல்யூஷன் தருவாங்க. Doesn't mean that one is ethical and the other is unethical. So the subject ethics isn't like a maths, isn't like any other subject. If you take a subject mathematics, multiplication table, 2 into 2 is equal to 4. It will not change with one person or the other person. ஒவ்வொருத்தவங்களுக்கு மாறக்கூடிய சப்ஜெக்ட் கிடையாது. Mathematics and other science subjects is like it is universal. But ethics is always subject. Ethics is a subjective interpretation of their experiences. Ethics is a subjective interpretation of your experiences, which makes it extremely difficult. Because it is yours, it is easy also. So it is subjective. That is the strength as well as the weakness that makes you how to handle the subject more complex. If you see ethics from a generalist point of view, for example, is lying good or bad? What will you say? Lying. Good? குட்டுங்களா? இல்ல நீங்க ஒரு கேஸ் ஸ்டடி மாதிரி எல்லாம் பண்ணாதீங்க. சிச்சுவேஷன் இருந்தா போய் சாப்பிட வேணாம். Is lying good or bad? Bad. Is killing good or bad? Bad. So ethics is simple in its generalizations. பொதுவாக நீங்க ஒரு விஷயத்தை பார்த்தீங்கன்னா அது சிம்பிள். But it is extremely complex when the situational interpretation comes into the picture. Oh, lying is not complex. அப்போ it will become complex. நம்ம கிட்ட இருக்கிற பிரச்சனை என்ன? We all trained in understanding the simpler form of ethics. Generalization we all be aware. Generalization நம்ம எல்லாமே பண்ணிடுவோம். We will do that very well. But in the situational analysis வரும்போது தான் இது அந்த நேரத்துல இப்படி செஞ்சா வேற என்ன வரும், அதுக்குரிய காம்ப்ளிகேஷன்ஸ் கான்சிக்வென்சஸ். That is why it makes it little difficult. So ethics is simple in generalization, but it is complex in its specificity. It is complex in its specificity. See, nowadays we are living in an age where information is so easily available. You take any word, you put it in the Google, you get the results. So information is not the problem for you guys. எத்திக்ஸ் ஒவ்வொரு வேர்டு எடுத்து கூகுள் சர்ச் பண்ணுங்க, அப்படியே லோட்ஸ் அண்ட் லோட்ஸ் ஆஃப் இன்ஃபர்மேஷன் வில் ஃபால் பிஃபோர் யூ. பட் ஸ்டில் எத்திக்ஸ் இஸ் சம்திங் லைக் கழுவுற மீன்ல நழுவுற மீன். இட்ஸ் லைக் வெரி ஸ்லைமி. யூ cannot hold it. The subject is like that. You cannot have a hold on the subject. It's very slippery. Despite having all the information, despite having all that you need, This year, we will say there are 8 variables in ethics. When we discuss about any ethical decision making, there are actually 8 variables. What are the 8 variables? The 3 principal variables ன்னு சொல்லுவாங்க. முதல் 3 variables யார் யாருன்னா நீங்க, the person that you interact, and the context of interaction. These are first 3 variables. The moral agent, okay, the other, and the situation. This is 3 most first primary important. The other include facts. Next, assumptions. Next, interpretations. Then principles. Then values. உங்க ethics இத 8 சுத்தி தான் இருக்க போகுது. The whole ethics is going to deal about these 8 things. என்ன 8னா நீங்க, அடுத்தவங்க, என்ன சிச்சுவேஷன், fact, assumption, interpretation, principles, value. Ethics is only about these 8 things. நீங்க, உங்களுடைய bringing என்ன, உங்களுடைய schooling என்ன, உங்களுடைய value system என்ன, is there any deficiency, how it can be learned, how it can be taught, what is the situation, எந்த situation எப்படி இருக்கணும், is it utilitarian, is it consequentialism, is it deontology, teleology, இதெல்லாம் நீங்க பின்னாடி as the classes goes you will understand these words more. The other, yeah, is it a rich person, is it a poor person, facts, assumptions, interpretations. Facts, okay, no problem. Assumption, interpretation, do you have the ability to can you see the emotion of the others? Remember, emotion is an invisible. It is an unseen language in சொல்லுவாங்க. Emotion is an unseen language. You cannot see that, but you feel it. Emotion cannot be seen, but it can be felt. But can you see that? You are very well aware of your emotions. Of course, live with that. But can you see the emotion of others and respond accordingly? Emotional intelligence. Facts, assumptions, interpretations, கடைசியா principles and values. So literally, the subject is about these 8 things. I'm not going into the subject matter today. We are simply going to walk through the syllabus, the questions that they have asked, and what can we learn from it. So, our first attempt. Okay. So, first is syllabus. There is a famous saying in English. It's called as face is the index of mind. அகத்தின் அழகு முகத்தில் தெரியும் சொல்லுவாங்க. அந்த மாதிரி கொஸ்டின் பேப்பர் என்னது சிலபஸை பார்த்தா தான் தெரியும். You can understand a lot by looking at the syllabus. That is why any preparation before you begin, you need to have an understanding of the syllabus first before understanding the subject. But this is where it is in the first step. We are usually become excited because so much information is available. We skip this. We straight away jump into the book. But remember, there is a wisdom in the syllabus. அதுல ஒரு ஆழ்ந்த அறிவு இருக்கு. சிலபஸ்ல ஒரு ஆழ்ந்த அறிவு இருக்கு. என்னன்னா உங்ககிட்ட என்ன எதிர்பார்க்க? What they expect from you? Please understand. I'm using the word. Listen, I didn't say. கேளுங்கன்னு சொல்லல, புரிஞ்சுக்கங்க. Please understand. I didn't say the word please listen. Understand. Syllabus, you need to first have a hold on the syllabus first. Not for any other paper, 1, 2 or 3. At least for ethics, you should have a strong grounding in the syllabus. So, if you syllabus na first, human and human ethics and human interface in RMA. Syllabus for ethics starts with that. நாம அது கூட பார்க்க கூடாது. அதுக்கு முன்னாடி ஒரு சின்ன பேராகிராஃப் தந்திருக்காங்க. It is given a small paragraph. What they expect from you. They don't want you to be a Plato. They don't want to be another Socrates. But of course, it's useful. ஒரு பக்கம் சாக்ரட்டிஸ் தாண்டவம் ஆடுறாரு, இன்னொரு பக்கம் பிளாட்டோ அப்படியே டான்ஸ் ஆடுறாரு, காந்தி போறாரு. We all know that, but how are you going to use it? So there is something very simple I want to tell you guys. What UPSC first expects from you in this paper. So UPSC says it questions to test the candidate's attitude and approach. What is attitude? அதாவது எதை கேட்டுட்டோம் வைங்க. If I ask you what are the attitudes needed for the civil servant, ஒரு 10 attitude சொல்வீங்க. If I ask you what is not needed for the civil servant, you will give another 10 list. But if I ask you what is an attitude, oh my god, I didn't expect this. What is attitude? Yes. இங்க பாருங்க இது எப்படின்னா ஓகே சி ஐயோ நான் இந்த மாதிரி see it's like a conversation okay something like now I'll ask what are value what are belief இது போயிட்டே இருக்கும் நீங்க என்ன பண்ணணும் தெரியுமா இதை அவாய்ட் பண்ண என்ன பண்ணணும்னா attitudeனா நீங்க give the answer in a simple word but when you make a sentence that will express what you understand from this word attitude way of thinking. Yes, this is the beauty of ethics. Everybody has a different view and it is all coming from their perspective. Everybody is correct and everybody is also relevant according to what they have gone. Attitude na simply a psychological evaluation of a particular situation. தமிழ்ல சொல்லணும்னா உங்களுடைய பார்வை. Let's say there is a salesperson in an Audi shop and the person coming down from another car coming and inquiring for the very costliest highest model, how they will be treated, and another very common looking person entering the same shop. There are many social experiments done like that, how they are treated. And the salesperson attitude தெரியுமா பார்வை அதுதான் attitude. இவங்க என்ன கேக்குறாங்க உங்களோட attitude என்ன உங்களுடைய பார்வை UPSC wants to know not about all these philosophies and jargons. நீங்க அந்த jargons எப்படி யூஸ் பண்ண போறீங்க? What is your psychological evaluation on the issue? இதை கேக்குற candidate attitude and approach. Approach என்னன்னா based on the attitude how are you going to resolve it? Approach means how are you going to address it to issues relating to integrity, probity in public life and his. This is where sometimes I disagree. It has to be gender neutral. It has to be his or her. That's how the syllabus is. Problem solving approach to various issues and conflicts faced by him or her. இது ஏன் நான் சொல்றேன்னா in your answer also you should be gender neutral like this. If it's a case study where you take up the role of gender neutral role, you have to be gender neutral. Questionல என்ன ஃபாலோ பண்ணாங்க நீங்க அத தான் ஃபாலோ பண்ணனும். But other than that you have to always be gender neutral. Chair person சொல்லணும். Chair man சொல்லக்கூடாது. புரியுதா? You have to always use the word chair person. In dealing with society, questions may utilize the case study approach to determine these aspects. They simply want you to test your attitude. They cannot test you better. If I talk with you even for months and months, we always cloak what is our inner personality. We always try to present what is the best to the others. இல்லையா? ஃபர்ஸ்ட் டைம் பேசும்போது இன்டர்வியூ அதுவும் ஃப்ரெண்ட்ஸ் கிட்ட பேசும்போது அப்படி இருக்கும்பொழுது இன்டர்வியூ பேனல் முன்னாடி நம்ம அப்படியே will you really show who you truly are? So being most difficult is not only to be ethical but how to express it in words. See, I believe that we are all ethical to some extent. We are all unethical also to some extent. Isn't it? இல்லையா? கடவுள் பாதி மிருகம் பாதின்னு சொல்றாங்க இல்லையா? So we are mix of both. We are ethical to some extent, unethical to some extent. The point is, but how are we going to express our personality through our writing? The second complication. Ethics paper. This is the second. How to present yourself. Remember, you may be a good person But if you do not present yourself in this platform, ethics paper, you will not get the marks. So this is a second challenge. This is where your reading actually comes. நீங்க கேட்டீங்கன்னா உங்களுடைய நீங்க படிக்கிறது எல்லாமே எதுக்குன்னா நீங்க நல்லவங்கன்றது மட்டும் இல்லாம அதை எப்படி காமிக்க போறீங்க. I will always hold myself true. உங்களுக்கு தெரிஞ்சது ஒரே வார்த்தை இன்டெகிரிட்டி போதும் முடிஞ்சிருச்சு. This is why we say right user words at the right context. So you need to be familiar with these terminologies, these principles. 4 பேரு நல்லா இருக்கணும்னா எதுவுமே தப்பு இல்ல அப்படின்னு சொல்லுவோம். ஒரு பெரிய 2 லைன் வரும். யூட்டிலிட்டேரியனிசம் புரிஞ்சிடுச்சா? இந்த இடத்துல தான் நீங்க படிக்கிறது யூஸ் ஆகும். அதாவது புரிஞ்சுக்கங்க. What you are going to read, sometimes it changes your attitude, it sometimes changes your personality. True. But actually இது கிடையாது purpose. The purpose is who your inner person is, how you better express it. இந்த எக்ஸ்பிரஷனுக்காக தான் நீங்க படிக்கிறீங்க. You understand? See, ஒரு 15 கிளாஸ் நாம எடுத்துட்டு உடனே உங்களை எல்லாருமே மகாத்மாவா மாத்த முடியுமா? இல்ல நான் மகாத்மா மாறிட்டு தான் இந்த கிளாஸ் எடுக்கிறேன். It is not that. It is how to write the answer. Upon expression is the second one. First, it is subjective. It is difficult in situational understanding. The second is you have to write answers. எழுதணும்னா you need to become familiar with this word. The subject-related terms and phrases you must be familiar. That's the second. Don't worry. At the end of the session, you will have solution for all this. Okay. How many of you have read the ethics syllabus seriously? How many of you? Can you please raise your hands? Seriously, how many of you read the ethics syllabus? இங்க பாருங்க, I'm not going to point you or ask questions. I'm simply asking. Okay. நீங்க பாக்குறீங்களா ethics syllabus? இல்ல ஓகே ஓகே இதுதான் அவர் ஏதோ சொன்னாரு வேல்யூன்னு சொன்னாரு ஆட்டிடியூட்னா வேல்யூ சொன்னா உடனே ஒரு வேல்யூனா என்னன்னு கேட்டு பிலீஃப்னாரு அந்த மாதிரி நீங்க நினைக்காதீங்க எத்திக்ஸ் சிலபஸ் பாத்தீங்க இல்லையா how many units are there in ethics syllabus? Okay, good. Okay, if you include this also as one unit, it's 8. Actually it's 7 units. There are 7 units in it. Okay, நாம என்ன பார்க்க போறோம்னா we are first going to see what are the units and how it is connected to the question. Please understand. If I make a question, if you put me as an examiner, I have to frame a question. I need to have a blueprint from where the question have to be asked. UPSC question makers, they are not framing question out of the blue. மழை மாதிரி வர கொஸ்டின் கிடையாது ஒரு கான்டெக்சுவல் சிச்சுவேஷன்ல ஒரு கொஸ்டின் எடுக்கிறாங்க ஃபார் எக்ஸாம்பிள் ரீசன்ட் எத்திக்ஸ் கமிட்டி மஹுவா மொய்த்ரா how that can be connected to the ethics syllabus and the connection அத கொஸ்டினா கேட்கும் understand what I'm saying? So, you need to understand, okay, 2000 from 2013 until up to 2023 ethics paper has become a part of our examination. இது வரைக்கும் கேட்ட கொஸ்டினுக்கு சிலபஸ்க்கும் என்ன சம்பந்தம்? What is the relation between the question and the syllabus? You need to just a minute. என்னாச்சு?
சார் கொஞ்சம் நல்லா காலர்
Okay, fine. So a small technical interference. Let's continue. So, uh, having a whole syllabus and understanding it is the first prerequisite in your ethics. எவ்வளவு மெட்டீரியல் இருந்தாலும் சிலபஸோட புரிதல் இல்லாம நீங்க மெட்டீரியல் பாத்தீங்கன்னா it is not a material, it is truly immaterial. Okay, the first one, ethics and human interface. See, usually it is said that ethics is irrelevant if you are the sole person in the world. Ethics comes into play because there are others. So, you and your interaction with the other constitutes ethics. That is what called as interface. The beginning of ethics is your interaction with the other. How you present yourself and how you treat others, that interface constitutes that, that the first point of contact between you and the external world, outer world. நான் ஏற்கனவே சொன்ன மாதிரி நீங்க தான் கடைசி மனுஷன் உலகத்துல ethics தேவையில்லை. Because there are others who have ethics. So that is what the UPSC is using it. Please understand that is a meaning. அதுதான் சொன்ன there is a wisdom in the syllabus. You need to understand that wisdom. அவங்க என்ன கேக்குறாங்க நீங்க there is something called as external. Your inner world and external world. How that communicates with each other. So here they are coming in the human ethics and human interface. What are the different parts they have given? They have given essence of the essence of human ethics. If you type this word, ethics and human interface, there will be numerous articles, there will be numerous material available. But before that, you need to understand what this essence means. First, understand syllabus. Then you go to the material. If you ask me what is the simple suggestion I will give you for this preparation, understand the syllabus. Essence of ethics. So what this essence means? Essence means human interactions. Which can be internally driven or externally driven. This human interactions can be internally driven in personal interactions. It can be externally driven in professional interactions. In professional interactions, you are driven externally. In the personal interactions, you are driven internally. Essence. So essence என்னன்னா ரொம்ப அடிப்படையில் see there are some people who from Tamil background, some who are from non-Tamil background. Whatever your vernacular language, try to grasp the meaning of this word first. Essence na என்ன சொல்றாங்க? Yes, சாராம்சம். Ethics ஓட சாராம்சம் என்னப்பா? They are asking what basically ethics is about. I told you human interaction, how you interact with the others. Then they're asking determinants and consequences of ethics in human actions. So when we say determinants of ethics, once again, determinants of ethics in personal life and the determinants of ethics in public life. This is hidden in the syllabus. You need to understand. You should not read. You should understand first. Oh, அப்ப எது முடிவு செய்யும்? Determination என்னன்னா முடிவு செய்யும். What determines the ethics in personal, private life, and in the public life, or in the social life? Public life or in the social life? Consequences of ethics in human actions. Of course, the development of a civilization can be assessed based on how ethical they are. Mahatma Gandhi saying சொல்லியிருக்காரு, only when a woman full with the jewels wandered in the midnight in the streets of India, that is when India have become. எந்த ஒரு நடுராத்திரியில ஒரு நகையை போட்டுக்கிட்டு ஒரு பொண்ணு சுதந்திரமா போயிட்டு சேஃபா வீட்டுக்கு வராங்களோ அன்னைக்குதான் சுதந்திரம்ன்றார். So this is consequences of ethics. இதுதான் அந்த consequences சொல்றாங்க. The consequences of ethics for social development, for personal development, for career development. So consequences. இந்த அண்டர்ஸ்டாண்ட் ஃபர்ஸ்ட் பண்ணுங்க, அப்புறம் படிங்க. So ethics இந்த சாப்டர் போட்டீங்கன்னா சாப்டர் படிக்கிறதுக்கு முன்னாடி சிலபஸை ஃபர்ஸ்ட் கோ த்ரூ. சைலன்ட்லி சிட் இன் a corner, அண்டர்ஸ்டாண்ட் இந்த வேர்ட் என்ன சொல்ல விரும்புறாங்க, what they try to convey. இப்போதான் ஆனா you create an expectation. ஓ இதுதான் சொல்ல வராங்களா? Then you read the material. So the answers in the material. Get it? So you have to do this first. Ethics கண்டிப்பா இதை பண்ணணும். I will say you have to do this for every subject, but for ethics you must do this. Dimensions of ethics. Dimensions of ethics. Normative ethics னுவாங்க, descriptive ethics னுவாங்க. Descriptive ethics is nothing but personal ethics. A king has his own set of personal ethical values. The citizens has their own personal values. The civil servant has his own personal values. Descriptive ethics. Then normative ethics. Norms. Norms no rules in அர்த்தம். Normative ethics. யாரா இருந்தாலும் பரவாயில்ல இது செய்யணும். Norms as a norms. Norms no rules. Standards. So dimensions of ethics like it can be normative, it can be descriptive, it can be applied, it can be meta ethics. And ethics in public and private relations. This actually is connected to this already. Ethics in private and public relations is easy to understand. But in the இடத்துல என்ன கேக்குறாங்கன்னா, in fact there was a question I think. Differentiate between personal ethics versus professional ethics. ஒரு question இருக்கு. Differentiate between personal ethics and professional ethics. See how the question is framed. They are given a syllabus, ethics in private and public relationships. Do you recognize this difference? That your ethical values in your personal life should not be carried over into your public life. Being a part of the government, being a part of a higher social order, there is a higher set of obligations upon you. Are you ready to meet? And do you recognize the difference first of all? Do you recognize the difference? Because once you enter into the public life, you are beyond race, creed, color. You're beyond that. Then human values. Sure, okay, பாருங்க. Okay, so there is an unexpected ongoing technical problem in the audio transmission. For those who are watching online, we kindly request to stay online and look for the next link. You will get the next link in about 2 minutes. So please stay online and continue with our session. Thank you.